Episode 2 of The Sign starts with Faya eavesdropping on the conversation between the captain and the instructor at the boot camp. He asks Tharn to take Yaw back to the dorm as he goes to try to break into the captain's office. Tharn follows and asks him to keep an eye out as Faya goes into the office to check Lieutenant Tam's case files. Faya takes photos of the files, and later, while everyone is asleep, he and Tharn secretly review the photos on his bed. According to the case files, Lieutenant Tam died from drowning, which points to a high likelihood of suicide. Tharn mentions that Captain Ack thinks the lieutenant was silenced and, therefore, knows the operation the lieutenant was handling. Tharn wonders why the killer dumped the lieutenant's body around the training camp. Faya thinks that the killer wanted to send a message as a warning that he knew about the lieutenant's real identity. An instructor suddenly walks into the room to check on the boys, and since Tharn cannot make it to his bed on time, Faya forces him to cuddle in his bed so they are not found out. Yaw slightly opens his eyes due to the commotion. The next morning during class, Yaw tells Tharn that he dreams that Tharn and Faya are cuddling on Faya's bed. Tharn throws him off by insisting that it was just a dream. The boys undergo more intense training sessions for the next few days, and the instructors applaud their immense progress. Faya pulls Tharn away from the rest after class to explain why he was certain someone else tied the knot on Lieutenant Tam's case. If the lieutenant tied the knot himself before committing suicide, the knot should be at the front, but in his case, the knot is at the back, meaning that someone else tied it. Tharn suggests going to Captain Ack with the information, but Faya thinks there is insufficient evidence. 3 of their close friends arrive when Faya and Tharn contemplate how to find more evidence and agree to join the investigation. Thongtai says that the lieutenant was his senior at the university, and he does not believe that he committed suicide due to gambling debt. He knows he was vigilant in arresting online gamblers and is very unlikely to become an addict. Kim adds that he heard instructors saying that before killing himself, he was seen around his house at the camp. However, Kim updates that he and Thongtai checked the lodging, and it was still locked with dust around the padlock, meaning it had been closed for quite some time. According to Faya, someone else might have sneaked around the house to fabricate evidence, and Tharn suggests they start their investigations by finding out who that person was. Yaw hesitates since they already have so much going on, and they will be risking their chances of joining the Special Investigation Unit. Regardless, Faya insists on carrying out the risky investigation, and Tharn, Kim, and Thongtai agree to help him. Yaw tries to stop Tharn, but he insists, forcing Yaw to agree to help too. Captain Ack watches the boys as if he knows their plan. He follows them into the hallways and sees them leaving the CCTV room. He follows up with the technician and learns they asked to check the CCTV, claiming they lost something at the beach 2 nights ago. The captain listens in on their conversation over the CCTV and overhears their discussion about the dead lieutenant. Later, an instructor reports to the captain that Kim and Thongtai requested to see a map of the island. After discussing their findings at the showers, the boys contemplate whether to go to the other side of the beach to find evidence. Later that night, Faya sneaks out alone while everyone else is asleep and goes to the beach. He hears a voice calling out his name and sees the mysterious woman who looks like Tharn reaching out to him. As if in a trance, Faya starts walking towards the outstretched hand. Meanwhile, Tharn gets a premonition and runs to the beach to look for Faya. He finds him almost drowning in the ocean but gets to him in time to wake him up from his trance. Faya is still disoriented and asks Tharn why the woman in his dreams looks like him. Captain Ack and other instructors find Tharn and Faya at the beach, and the boys get a severe scolding afterwards. One of the instructors stands up for the boys, citing that they are the most talented and highly likely to join the Special Investigations Unit. Captain Ack responds that they will not be upstanding officers regardless of their talent if they are undisciplined and cannot follow rules and regulations. After their punishment, the boys get together and resolve that they will make sure to pass the exam and be the 5 chosen to join the Special Investigations Unit. They train and study harder than anyone else and strengthen their bond in the process. Their efforts paid off, and they became the 5 chosen officers who joined the Special Investigations Unit. They do not waste time and go to show off their achievement to Captain Ack and tell him that they made it to the team. While leaving the camp, the boys plan to meet later for a party at Nong Khai. The boys meet at the bar as planned, but Faya arrives later than the rest and steps out to take a call soon after. Tharn goes to make an order at the counter, and while waiting, a guy tries to make a move on him. Faya suddenly shows up when the guy offers Tharn a drink and drinks on his behalf, preventing the guy from hitting on Tharn. Later, Faya steps on stage when the boys force him to sing, and then a completely drunk Yai suggests they play the spin the bottle game. The game is Yai's secret plan to get Tharn and Faya to admit their feelings toward each other. Tharn is completely wasted, forcing Faya to help him go to the washroom to freshen up. Drunk Tharn is full of mischief, and he makes Faya's heart skip a beat. He almost goes to kiss Faya but gets distracted by a necklace Faya is wearing. He talks about the amulet necklace being the same as the one he gave to a boy but passes out before he can explain it further. Yai finds them in the washroom in a compromising position and almost misunderstands, but Faya quickly points out it is nothing like Yai thinks. Tharn passes out, and Yai comes up with a new plan to get Tharn and Faya close. He suggests that Faya take Tharn back to his condo and call a cab for them. Faya carries Tharn outside the club, but while waiting for the cab, Dr. Calathon shows up. The episode review. The episode adds more context to the storyline, although it is still too early to grasp. Faya mentions something about reincarnation, which might explain why the woman in Faya's dream looks like Tharn, and she calls him Master Sakuma. Could Faya and Tharn be like fated lovers from a past life? In the previous episode, when the woman appeared, she helped Faya escape the mysterious creature, while in this episode, she almost caused him to drown, which creates confusion on whether the woman in his dreams wishes to harm or protect him. Another piece of the puzzle regarding the connection between Faya and Tharn happens at the end of the episode when Tharn notices the necklace Faya is wearing. Tharn might have given it to him, but we must wait for the next episode to confirm the theory. In addition, sparks seem to have started flying between them, but they have yet to neither admit nor act on their feelings. Who is Dr. Calathon? Let us check out the next episode together to discover the past connection between Faya and Tharn.